Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Salcido. Welcome to my Week 6 Multimedia discussion for MPA 594, Other Concepts. In this presentation, I'm going to be reviewing 2 GPA concepts, 2 PSML concepts, and where to find this information. For our first concept, we have public goods. And public goods is known as non-exclusive, non-rivalry, non-exhaustion. So these are goods that it's made by the government to provide for anyone to have access to. Like, for example, we have the public parks, national defense. None of these are gonna have any resources that are diminishing. It's always gonna be there available. And the way that you can actually apply this to a standard GPA question would be as like the bureaucratic process is set up. You can relate to how maybe a structure is set up to provide goods for society in itself. Next, we would have our second concept, which is taxation, which is basically the fundamental process of how our budgeting in the federal government is done. Taxation is basically when people pay the taxes, and this can relate back to Article 1, Section 8, where Congress has the right to lay the laws of taxation and collection. And that's how you were able to apply it back to that GPA question, going back to the fundamentals of the purpose of taxation and how it all started. For our first concept for PSML, we have theory of personal growth, and this is from Chris Agayers. And this concept, basically, he's just trying to explain that people have this self-actualization of growing up, from your infancy to maturity to when you're becoming an adult. You go through different changes, and these different changes help you mature and, adapt to your current environment. And this is going to be very important, especially for motivation, because you want to focus on how a person is growing or maturing within that organization, and what their environment, how is it affecting them in that aspect. This is going to relate more to a standard PSML question, just because you're going to be focusing on the motivation aspects. You could also tie this into McGregor Theory Y and even Maslow, just kind of continuing the aspects of motivation and the process that's going to be in there to complete that tie. Next, we would have path goal theory of leadership, and this is actually one of my favorite theories, just because it's explaining, in order for the outcome to happen, it's going to be based on the employees, and then it's also going to be based on their environment, and what type of leadership is going to be there to support that or to create that path for the employee to reach their goal. So in this type of theory, you could actually apply it to a standard PSML question, just because you can bring in different theories, the democratic, laissez-faire, autocratic, any type of leadership. You can try to manipulate it to make this theory work, because in order for that situation to be successful, there's going to be a certain type of leadership that's going to be needed. So where to find the information? So for public goods and taxation, I went back to our budgeting course, and for the textbooks in that course, we used the fiscal administration, and I went back to chapter 1 and chapter 7, just because it went in more into depth about the different concepts of that. Then for our personal growth theory, I actually went back to the organization course, and I used the textbook Organization Theory and Public Management, just because it kind of went into more depth about Chris. And I also highly recommend just rereading the book if you have a chance, or if you're just trying to get more information like on Maslow or any other theorists. I would just recommend using that book as well, just because it kind of helps summarize to get the main points across. Then finally, I also used the leadership in public organization to determine the path goal theory. And in this book too, I thought it was just really helpful, just because it's a very easy read to get a better and good understanding of all the leadership's theories, skills, and traits. So I would highly recommend to use these textbooks if you guys have a chance. And that was the end of the presentation. Thank you guys very much for listening. I hope this information was very useful for you guys. And I want to say congratulations to everyone and good luck, because we're all going to pass and we're all going to graduate together, because that's the goal. I hope you guys have a great week.